Hello, hello. Great afternoon to everybody. Welcome to my channel, The Underrated Darkness. Yours truly, the number one grinder. One of the best kept secrets on social media, the best of the business. Um, I hope y'all and your families is doing okay. Right, fresh up Monday. And let me get these announcements out the way. This is Chop Up. This one is Chop Up with Brother L.A.R. movement. This is part two. This is part two. And let me explain before I continue. There's going to be some that I'm going to do part two. And there's some that's going to be part one. We're saying it depends on the conversation. So he will definitely come back with a chopper. He will be here in a few. He'll be here soon. So we're going to wait for the brother. But let me get these announcements out the way. Shout out to my underrated one family, my day ones and the ones along the way, like Brother L.A.R. I consider him a day one because we know each other for a while, for a minute now. So shout out to the ones also along the way. Let's keep on fighting for the truth. Stand on it. Stay on that right cipher. Very important, y'all. And y'all see the hashtag the truth, hashtag the truth 2025. You know how that goes. So shout out to the peeps. Shout out to my underrated one family. Let's keep it up. Shout out to No Duck Zone Podcast. Shout out to the Miss. Shout out to the Miss. No Duck Zone Podcast. My brother McClain, Bronx fam. His wife Tiffany and the rest of the movement. Shout out to them. Just keep it pushing. Shout out to hashtag TWT family, brother G5, his significant one, sister Queek, and the rest of the movement. Shout out to y'all. Keep it up. The mighty LDBC, the Staff Lions Den boxing community, also basketball community. Shout out to the creator 7A Sports TV and the rest of the brothers and sisters. All right. Now, while we waiting for brother L.A.R. To come through. Hold on, fam. Let me check this out. No. Hold on for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Waiting for he come through. I'm gonna do a man's live might later on. It depends on the timing. I don't know. I'm going to have a panel discussion or not, but just watch out for it. Just watch out for it. But with me and brother L.R. Knowledge Born, he was on here. We chopped up with a lot of things. What's going on with our people, fatherhood, system, kids, everything else. And we're gonna continue that because we us as men, we gotta be on point. We got, people say we gotta stay on code. Yeah, we gotta stay on code, but we gotta be on point. And we gotta support each other more than ever. And the thing is that the ones that I know, they support each other. We support each other. There's no doubt about that. But it's not enough men that's willing to keep it consistent and don't have the empathy, don't have the encouragement to push others, other men, especially us as black men. So it seems like we just going backwards and backwards and backwards. And this is not the time to go backwards, y'all. This is not the time to go backwards. So what we must have to do, we got to understand the times, and also we got to learn to adopt with the times. But it doesn't mean that you got to change yourself to be better. And I strive on that. Learn to keep on adopting what's going on, but never change the better me. And it seems like us, some of us as black men, we got away from that. And that's sad because, like I said, we need more. We need each other more than ever. And we need help bring the families back together. And they're us as men. We are bringing families back together. They don't want to talk about that. Okay, hold on, L.A.R. Stay right there. I'm gonna put the link. Do you want me to send it? Do you want me to send it? Oh, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it back to your email. I'm gonna send it back to your email. Hold on. Watch out for it. I just sent it to your email, so check it out again. Good. All right. Got it right here. There he is.
My bad. How you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm all right.
All
How you
right, I'm
doing?
good.
You
I'm
and your
good.
family?
Man, I'm old and sore, but I'm good.
Well, my inside my head is sore, but outside is good.
I understand that.
But before we continue, people say I seen it before. He was on here. Matter of fact, throughout the years, he been coming on here. But that's way back. But we did that part one, and I asked him because we had like it was a great chop up, and I asked him, "Will you agree to come back do part two?" And he said yes. But we know that he's a busy man, and into a lot of things, and gotta respect what he's doing. And he agreed to come back. So, brother, we welcome you back.
And I
And
appreciate you for having me, man.
yeah, I appreciate that. And we gotta continue the conversation as we. I forgot. I believe when we left off, talking about us as men and make better choices, and also stand up being what is like stand up being a black man in the world. And I touch on that in the past, but I do want to touch on that because they, especially in this country, they always said that black men ain't doing this, black man ain't doing that, and you got to have finance, to be a man and stuff. Now, I mean, finance is good. I'm not saying nothing wrong with it, but that don't make you as a man. And I want us to touch on that a little bit first, and because there's a certain perception that if you meet a certain bracket of education, of finance, or other things that you're a man. And that's I mean that's not true. That's not
It's
so but you go ahead.
it's a part of it, but it ain't the whole thing. Because you can be if you don't have a work ethic, then you're not a man. You get what I'm saying? You got to have a work ethic. You got to be able to do things. You got to be able to do things and be consistent. Like going to school doesn't mean you're actually gonna have a good work ethic. Going to school doesn't mean you're gonna be smart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and even with having money, some people are better at making money than others, and some people have been given breaks and they wind up with more money than others. That don't mean that you can depend on them if things go left. A lot of people can't um you know money is a definite help,
Yeah.
but if you don't have any other skills in life, then it's a hindrance. You know, you got the money to pay for somebody to use tools, but you don't know how to use tools. That's not a good thing. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes it's sometimes some men know we got to stay in our lane. We might know this, but we don't know that. So there comes a point where you got to know something. Whether like they say, there's seven different levels of intelligence. You can't just have one as a man. You got to have more than one.
Yeah. And go more on your point because it was told to me, right? As a women in the past, they said, "Oh yeah, you gotta do this and that." And I said, "Well, I know how to clean, I know how to cook, I know how to run a household. My parents taught me that. Well, I do know how to pay bills, so I know how to budget. There's other things like my parents. We didn't come up in a house, so we come in an apartment. But they showed me that other family had other houses. You got to learn how to contain that. You know what I mean? Like you got a yard, you got to learn how to contain that. You had the leaves on there. You can mess it up and everything. Or because I'm not really a handy man. I'm not, but I know how to run house. He said, there are certain things that how you wash your clothes. You can't
Right.
wash clothes all one time. You gotta know the difference. You gotta when you mop the floor, you gotta pull the couch off, you gotta know the difference. There's different things that comes with it. And I found out throughout the years when those skills, then also you also gotta have skills how to deal with people.
That's a skill that a lot of people don't have.
You gotta know right. You gotta learn how to adapt with the times. And so when I'm glad you say that. So when other men don't have other things, it doesn't mean other things they stronger in. It doesn't mean you can work on it. You can work on it. And so I find that and I'm being respectful today because you part away from family, and I'm gonna be respectable. But some of your men and some of your women, y'all are full of it. If you feel that there are certain things that society had pertained to y'all that make you say that, oh, this is a man, you're lost. I'm going by what Nas Born saying what we say. You're lost. And so it let me know, brother, God willing, that I live to see 59 years old, June 4th. I must do something right. And I'm still here,
It,
right?
it, like people take manhood as one thing, but it's like, listen, if you walk into a hospital, the security guard is the man of security. If you got a guy that drives medicine and stuff back and forth,
Uh-huh.
that's the man of transport. The doctor's the man of, you know what I'm saying, of medicine and surgery. They're different. They have different roles, but they don't make one person better or worse than the other, because You could be a doctor and say I'm the man, but if you don't have security, that's not your expertise. So somebody could just bum rush in there and ruin everything. You could say, we don't. The security guard says I'm more important than the transport guy, but the transport guy is bringing medicine to the hospital. So you can't save people without the transport guy because he's getting you what you need when you don't have it. So a
Right.
lot of times, just in my opinion, a lot of times manhood is just is situational. There's some things that can be great in one situation and and it's obsolete in another situation. That don't make the person any less of a man. It's just they can't help doing this, but they'll help doing that. And sometimes people need to get that through their head because what use is that if you don't understand that that's an issue as far as of being just an adult, you know, because everybody's valuable when they're in their expertise. So if you find somebody that gets in their expertise about something, they're valuable at it. But if you devalue that, you devaluing it because you don't need it at that moment. But you will at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I was talking to some person like years ago, and he said, yeah. I said, well, you're part of being a man. Like if you deal with a woman or will have kids or they don't have kids, do you know that you when you walk in, you check on the car, you check on the area, see everything all right? That's not part of being a man. I said, explain that to me, please. Because I see my late father had done it. I see my late uncles had done it. All right. I had first cousin boy, men, they had done it. So you gonna tell me that's not part being a man? That's not part showing to be a leader? To know your surroundings, make sure everything fine. So
And then
anything
move.
happens, you can jump in it and handle it. That's not showing Lisa being a man.
I mean, yeah, but what if you're talking to somebody who got book smarts and not street smarts?
That's true. Right. Or
You know
or
what I'm saying?
or,
So it's
or
like,
yeah, or we talking. I did. I'm gonna send a live to you. I did over the emotional people. I'm gonna send you that. I want you to check it out. All now we talking about overly emotional men. I'm just saying we got to keep it a bucket.
so
I'm just saying.
so so I'm working out today. Like I was working out, and after I finished, I got in the sauna, right?
Right.
So it's three people in the sauna at the time, and one of the brothers leaves. So now it's two people, me and this other guy, and then this other
Yeah.
guy comes in. And this when you're talking about emotional, right?
Uh
So
huh.
the young guy's on the phone, and he really talking on the phone about trapping, loud, like loud.
Mm-hmm.
And it's me, him, and another guy, and he's on the phone just spilling his own beans, right? And at some point, I just looked and because the conversation kept getting worse and worse and worse and more
Yeah.
informative. And it's what I mean, like when you talk about emotional. So I turned around, looked at him, and when I looked at him long enough, he knew I was looking at him. And so I got his attention. And then I told him to take his earbud off. And I said, "Hey man, you can't be talking around people you don't know like that." And then he was like, "Oh yeah." And that to me is part of people being emotional. They're so busy in their own little thing doing what they want to do. They don't
Uh huh.
realize how bad they could put them, how much danger they could put themselves in. You get like sometimes when people get emotional, they get their you shouldn't be comfortable being emotional. That should be very uncomfortable for you. Because if your emotions take you wherever you want to go, you're not checking into your surroundings. So your emotions is not going to help you because you don't know the type of situations you put yourself into because you mad one minute, you know, you
Mm-hmm.
happy another minute, you sad one minute, you know, what you call that? You being vindictive another minute, like you depressed another minute, and you don't realize, okay, you're all these different emotions around different people, and you don't know what you did in that. You don't know what you did when you was happy. You don't know what you did when you was angry. You don't know what you did when you was depressed. You don't know what you did, in no position. Because I've learned that people who real emotional, they don't have a good memory.
So, yeah, that's an excellent point. Right. And
So it's like,
also, and
yeah, my bad.
yeah, it's not even to cut you off, Nasmo.
Mm,
And also, too, I found out that overly emotional people, why you gotta have why you gotta have validation every time that you do something, or somebody you think that did something to you, you gotta run to another emotional person so they could solve it for you. Oh, look at me and stuff. I mean, like, for me, I'm just saying that for me, outside looking, brother Tom Malone. Welcome. That's my day one right there. Day one. But Tom Malone, we talk. I mean, Dodgeball, we talk. But this is what I'm saying to the people. And we ain't talking about no 18, 19-year old,
mm.
no 20-year-old. We talking about 30 and better. Y'all need a pat in the back for everything.
Cause
You need somebody to wipe your ass for y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be. It just. But real men like Tom Malone, brother Nosborn, me, few others, take it on the chin and keep it going. Know what it's like being a real man. That you're not gonna get you're not gonna get have it all the time. It's always going to be here. People trying to get you because you want to do
mm,
what's right. Stand up being a man. So that means that means agony in your life you have to deal with. That is not fair. But you guys see for what it is, you guys wiggle it in and be on our coin is be on that right cipher. We have to understand that. You're not going, your significant one ain't gonna see certain things that you see. They not. It's gonna be people around that you being a better you are also a coin that they're not going to see the growth that you want to put yourself in because when you being a better you when you as a man when you want to go through that growth, it's not sweet all the time.
but people
You
don't
gonna
want to do
go
that.
through bumps.
A lot of people don't want to grow. You know, a lot of people would rather somebody grow around them and they ride the coattails of somebody else's growth than to actually grow. Oh, shoot, fam. Tone. I don't think I could do that right now. Um, I'll see. I'll see.
Matter of fact, if you can, brother, you can send it to my email, and I send it to Tom Malone email if you want.
Yeah, I gotta, because I gotta make changes to it. I was gonna actually do a whole up
Yeah.
up update to that whole book. That's what I was really gonna do is just like an update to that whole book. And let me see.
Sorry about that. It's going on. Okay.
No, 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 it's all good. I'm trying to figure out if I could do this.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully that works. I don't know if it does.
But why you
I'm
looking
thinking
at
I
it
did it.
though? Why you
I
finding
think I
for
did
it?
it. I might have did it. I might not have. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. 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 Let me get back on the topic. Here's the interesting thing I've learned over the years about just people and growth in general. There are people who need to be alone to grow because there are people who are surrounded by people who constantly try to grow, so they don't and they don't because they feel like they don't have to. But I think what winds up happening is life is going to make you grow at some point. So whether you might want to be the aggressor in your own growth, because if you're not, life is going to be the aggressor of your growth.
Yeah.
So and some people can't handle that. Like some people hit their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and then life starts actually um hitting them with obstacles that they never dealt with when they were younger. So what somebody else could walk through, like it could cripple them.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, like you might want to force yourself to get to know yourself.
Yeah. And go more what you were saying. Life life is going to make sure my life is going to check you one way or the other. And that's what some and I told him about these over that's a bit when wherever this live's over, I'm gonna look for that live. I'm gonna send through your email. And I want you to understand it. And then if you want to, you could talk about it on your channel, or you can come back here. We could do like that because of that. Because I feel I'm talking about um in a broader sense, but I'm thinking about doing one just for men too.
Gotcha.
I'm really seriously, really thinking about maybe acting, but we get into that anyway. But my thing is that how you knock another man that go through trials and tribulations that you question their existence, and then they willing to put in the work, but you look at them, they ain't nobody for what really overly emotional. You
I was
telling me that
you saying it like I was sparring a little bit yesterday, right?
uh,
And I was when we was talking while we, talking in the midst of sparring or whatever, like right after. And one of the guys was like, "Man, he don't understand how some people, um, they their ego won't let them learn." And I was like, and I said, "That's not." I was like, "That's not good when you fighting. Like if you," I said, "Some people believe themselves to be something that they're not. So when you're a person who got some people think I'm confident or I've got real confidence and and people tell you there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And the difference between confidence and arrogance is when you're confident from something you've done. You're confident in your abilities from what you've done. When you're arrogant, you're confident in abilities that you have never even you've never even tested. So there's a bunch of people in the world who are arrogant, and the emotion comes from because I believe myself to be this, and then when it's time to prove it, I can't. This is not the Matrix. You can't hit a button and everything that you think is gonna come to pass. That's not how life works.
right,
So I've been around enough people to know that um people's emotions get so far out of the way that their arrogance of their ego won't let them even understand their own humanity as a person,
right,
their own limitations.
yeah,
So it's
and
crazy.
it's really crazy. And also, there are some think that if you go outside, right? You go outside, that means you gain experience and stuff like that. Oh, my work ethic is better because I'm out there and I'm out there outside and stuff. I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but understand you got to understand the times that we're in too. And so there's people out there putting themselves out there, figure they better, like, oh, look at me, look at me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, do you know that what problems that you could cause when you put yourself out there? Sometimes you just have to say like that. See, like I'm gonna use me as example, right? I'm gonna use me as example. I've been in this world for 58, going on 58 and a half years. I had my share of failure, but I had my share of triumph. And I understand along the way that God had given people around me to help me build myself. I know I had to do it for myself. Yes, self-reliance, yes. I understand that. But I had few people, like I could say you, in your own way, that helped me, give me the reinsurance that what I'm doing, instead of being a man, and I appreciate it with Big Duke and stuff like that. And
Shout out to Duke and happy
Big
birthday.
Duke, and and let me put this out there too. I let the last not being next to the last live he did, that's my coach, of everything. Even I could say, I said, yo, Big Dude, man, I lost 10 pounds. He said, what? My G, you lost 10 pounds. And when I said that, I was like tearing up because as a man, but as a black man, we don't get that much resources for us.
Right.
We don't. We got to talk about that. We don't. And so when I so the tools that he give me, it took me time, bro. Don't get me wrong. Cause to live, see, people don't understand when you live long term, you gotta think of the big picture of your health and other things that factor in. And for me, lost 10 pounds. I told you, G, I said, yo, I lost 10 pounds, it ain't nothing. Man, it's something.
It's
You
something.
crazy, bro? He said you should celebrate that. Because again, especially us as black men, how many people gonna pat ourselves in the back? Hardly none. And the sad thing about it, some of them is closer than us. I'm keeping the buck, and I had to learn that the hard way when I was younger. My father, let me tell you, before I continue, me and my late father did not have the best relationship. But if I say from 82 to 89, when he passed, we had the best relationship. Now, it could have been better before I come, but he was dropping, He said, yeah, they're not going to pat yourself in the back as a man because you do what's right. He said, you got to understand, even that you making growth, you got to understand that. It's not, especially if he's doing this, especially if you this. I want people to say, especially if you this.
Just,
And he said, I don't care what time it is. I don't care what, especially you this. Especially you instead of being a real man, you're not going to get the satisfaction. But the ones that are emotional,
well,
understand that. And it's unfair. And so there's a man, my father, he just went up to fifth grade reading level. Born in Crawford, Georgia. Fifth grade reading level for World War II. He was a chef, plus he was a cook, missed two fingers, right? Deal with racism and all that. And like again, we ain't had the best relationship because when I was young, I tried to find my way, and
bumping
so we
heads
was like,
because of that.
right, we was
Yeah.
collided, and at that time when I was learning, when I was I was a 60 baby. I was born 66. So I was around the Black Panthers and
Mhm.
Kwanzaa and all that, and I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, so spiritual and all that.
A
But
little bit.
it was like for me as political, I was like for this. I for our people. I don't care about the other one. And then as me being part of special ed, I see the disproportion us as young Black boys. I had to deal with that. Come back on the block. Say you retarded. Your own people. Seeing Black men get thrown out of their own house.
Mm.
Okay? In special ed, people was getting tricked, talking about, oh yeah, we want to counsel our young boys, sign them up and put them in homes. They never seen them. I seen all that, y'all. But I had to collide with that. To me, my father, when I was a teenager, we had to talk and everything, and then I had to understand. He said, "I understand it, but I know. But let me show you, because you understand. Already know as you this. You experience it. You experience it early, so I don't have to really tell you. So when we was getting closer, my late mother said, you got to understand. He walking on another lane. I could tell
Mm.
him. He said, he know what it is. But I heard you. He knows what it is because he had to deal when he was younger. So gotta let him be you want to be. I said, we gonna be a. He knows the world. And
It's
the sad thing about it, he has to know it when he was very young.
yeah.
And so from 82 to 89, we was like this. We was getting like this. And so when he left on March 23rd, 1989, it was painful because I was going on 23, yo. I was a man already. But I still had some growing to do.
Going to do.
And so that's what I'm saying that that's when the elders and the OGs coming in. Some of them was okay, some of it's not. You got to weed them out, and it was at times I had to deal with it myself. And also, I forgot to bring this up too. And when I was 11, I was raped by a grown woman, and I had to deal with that.
A
Other
lot of
time, I have
people,
to
yeah.
understand that my time is up, right? To try to gain justice. Now I gotta take that road to help others. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That
I got it. So there's channels I gotta deal with in my life. I'm not saying I need a pat in the back. I'm just saying, family, you gotta understand the plight of the Black man. That we always have to get crumbs or whatever it is, whatever it crumbs we got to get good crumbs. We got to get it and keep it pushing. And that's why I appreciate Big Dude, and I appreciate you because you talking to my existence. You talking no
got
matter where you at, Black man. I got you. We know how it is. You hear what I'm saying? Talk to the spirit. Talk to the existence.
and I hate to say it this way, I really do.
That
I think as the years, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, now 2020s, I think life has gotten easier for everybody
Mhm.
in materialistic ways. That's what I would say,
Yeah.
in materialistic ways. And because of that, people have a people don't really have an understanding for adversity in life, because it's like now we have a population of people who are really sheltered. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? They don't have experiences that can shape them and mold them for the positive and negative. They just have a bunch of free time to think about stuff. And The reason I'm saying it that way right now is because I can't say that. Like when I see some black men, I know they dealt with the racist part of society. They didn't have to go out of their way to deal with it. And now I see some black men, which sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing, who they really don't know that element, but their actions is like, why are you going out of your way to find racism or sexism or crime? Like, why are you going? Because you're making your existence harder, trying to live something that's not your time period,
Ooh,
or not your class,
ooh,
or not your family situation. And it's
ooh.
like, yo, it's so for me, sometimes it's hard because like some brothers, I can't help your self-sabotage. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like something like I experience in America is hard enough. You don't have to sabotage your life experience to feel like you're authentically a black man. You don't have to do that. But now more than I've seen before, I've seen people who step out of the who step into, let's just say the pig pen and think, oh, since now that I jumped in the pig pen, this is my black experience. Like, no, that's your jumping in the pig pen experience. That's what that is. Like, that's not
right, right.
so because it's unfortunate that I say this. Like, I come from an era where, from a time period where guys could have been raised by single mothers, but they weren't overly feminine. They
No,
might have been overly emotional at times, but they were never overly
not
feminine.
feminine. Right, but see now it's both.
Yeah. And
That's sad.
and sometimes I talk to brothers and it's like, yo, like I talk to guys about the hair thing, and it's like, man, y'all. I said, listen, we all went through that phase. It went from when people wore conks to people having jerry curls to people having S curls to people having braids. I
Yeah,
said, but the issue is, we went through different phases of fashion from the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000. It was all these different ages of fashion. And I was like, the difference is at a certain point, you had to grow out of it.
yeah,
It was not your existence as an adult. You had your teenage experience. That was what that was. And now what you're seeing is we're dealing in a society of grown people that want to be teenagers.
yeah.
And it's like, but so how can I respect you as an elder or OG when you're trying to relive high school, you're trying to relive college, and it's like, bro, we can't talk. Or I see young guys who they're trying to relive. I hate to say it this way. Like
Say it.
they trying to relive their version of Power or their version of Juice or their version of Boys in the Hood and it's like, what are you like? Or Minister Society is like, what are you doing? And when we talk about like the emotions and the growth and having a different experience, some people don't want to hear it, but some of y'all who are messing up your life and sabotaging yourself, the reason why you're so beloved or you feel so loved and you feel so cared for is because people enjoy you crashing out. They
Yeah,
love you because they know you're going to crash out.
yeah. And also knowledge born too. Let me put this out there too, and I want you to go on this too. It doesn't mean when you live in a nice house or a nice car and you got a good job or have a business, you still could be overly emotional because those are things that you want. It's not what you need. and we have to understand. And brother Nas one, we I want to get with you in the near future because I definitely want to because I'm doing the underrated men's talk as I already let you know, but now I'm gonna start doing topics, and I want to do series, and I want men to come on because we got to address this because now society, because as you already know, society have been pushing this for a long time. Oh, he got a car, he got a house, oh he got his own house, oh he lived with a mother, oh he lived with a father, oh he's successful and stuff. I'm not knocking that, you know what I'm
No,
saying? But
no, I
what we
get it.
talking about, what we talking about,
It's like if anybody
what about
ever,
masculine? What masculinity comes into the picture? Because masculinity, part of it, you got to deal with the real world. Nobody, masculinity ain't gonna hold your hand, bro.
it's like I don't know, like I read it a long time ago. If anybody ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's the issue we're having. Rich Dad Poor Dad, was Robert Kiyosaki. It was a book about basically um his father was his that he considered a poor dad, and his guy that was a mentor who he considered his rich dad. The way they went about life was completely different. So his father was actually a successful guy, but what happened was his father kept climbing the corporate ladder, and every time he climbed up, he upped his lifestyle. So he stayed poor because he was always upping his lifestyle to keep up with the Joneses. So the other guy was basically a working guy who was working and building his business and empire, and he was just staying in his lane. So as they got older, the guy who worked, he became more successful financially because his businesses took over. The guy, the father that was working all the time, he just stayed working poor. And the issue was that with that, like what you're talking about is this. Some of us are trying to be a man that we made up in our minds. So just like keeping up with the Joneses, we keeping up with the manhood. But the manhood is just a figment of your imagination. So sometimes you like I see it in society. Like when you talk about the financial situation, some people get in a position and now I'm a man, and the position makes me a man. It's like, well, if the position make you a man, when the position's gone, you're not a man no more, right? Or if you and I clown with my friends about this all the time. Like you've seen this thing where people we have this, in my opinion, it's like a fake tough guy era. I'm gonna grow out a big beard. I'm gonna wear certain clothes and hats. I'm gonna act like I got a gun on me. I'm gonna act like I'm some type of soldier. And it's like, listen, bro, stop it. Just stop it. Because it's no different than when guys was getting a bunch of tattoos to look intimidating. And it's like, bro, I'm not buying it. But that's their I that's their I'm a Spartan, I'm a Viking, I'm a gangster, and this is the type of man that I want to present. And it's like, bro, people might buy what you selling to make you feel good, but everybody ain't buying it because most men are comfortable in their own skin. They're not trying to be something else. And that's even the guys that people emulate. Like some of these guys that people emulate, they don't realize the person you emulate, and that's really them. You're just a wannabe clone of them. That's who they are 24/7. That's who they grew to be. Who you are is just, you moonlighting as something else.
Yeah.
You know,
And you know what? I want to go more on the point, bro. Welcome, brother AM1. I definitely want to do a chopper with you. Welcome, thank you. And also go more on your point. Along, me living. I know men personally, born and raised in New York, and even going abroad, outside New York. They got good jobs and everything, and all that. But y'all not run a household.
No,
You
that
come in the house smell like corn chips? You not you don't know the everyday life of a cooking or cleaning and stuff. You got to get up and wash clothes and everything. How to budget, but you know how to budget and stuff. I mean, like making sense to me. I mean,
because some people don't, and I can say this. Some people in certain age groups, they grew up with not just the both parent situations, but the extended family situation. So everybody had a role. You know, mama had a role, daddy had a role, uncle had a
yeah.
role, auntie had a role, grandma had a role, grandpa. So they grew up in that type of environment. And sometimes what happened was they got crippled because it was always somebody else's job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, my daddy did this, my mama did this, my big brother or sister did this, my aunt did this, my uncle did this. So, and I see it now. It's like I was clowning with somebody at work that was younger than me, and we was talking about like the holidays, and it was like, yeah, man, they don't cook like they're not cooking like they used to. They don't make this and they don't make that. And I looked, I said, you know why? It's like, no, because it's your job now. You 25. You supposed to be making a turkey, or you supposed to be making a potato, you know, the greens, or the mashed potatoes, or the mac and cheese. You and your siblings and cousins, it's your job now. And they were just
Right.
sitting there like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like you might have, a grandparent or something. They might do a particular thing, but all the stuff y'all looking for, that's y'all job. They taught y'all how to do this stuff. It's your job to do it now. I
Right.
was like, but
And
now that
you
y'all don't want to do it.
and you know what? I'm glad you brought that point. Brother Tom Malone, he got to test that. Years ago on this channel, I created um dinner din dinner vibe. And that was that about is get the family together. We sit down together and talk and find out topics that
Let's
we could
go.
talk about and have solutions. Tom Malone been anybody could y'all go on my channel. I've done this. And so it was my way to extend what how I was growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time as being me single black man, right? Living by myself, to show people that no matter if you live by yourself, you can still be successful what you're doing. And that was one of the traits. And I was thinking about, I said, maybe I cook. I did show my cooking. I said, hold up. Maybe I could bring back the family concept, right? We could sit down at the table. I could show people what I cook. And also I could show people how creative, in a dessert, like bring us certain topics so we can sit down and eat as a family. So whoever what they going through, right? We could help each other out. And Tom Malone been on many. I think you've been on. I think you've been on one or two. Come and think about it, but you
You
weren't
you
there.
made me you made me remember something. I
Mm-hmm.
used to me and my friends, we used to do a soul food Sunday. So once a month, maybe once every couple of months, we'll do a soul food Sunday, which means
Mm-hmm.
somebody's house and they cooking and you bringing the sides. You get what I'm saying? Or you bringing something.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's bringing a dish, but it's everybody, kind of reconnecting. So it's all the friends, all the kids, everything, right? And this one particular year it was at my house, and so it was a spread for sure, but one of my friends she brought like one of my friends. This particular friends is a married couple. So the
Mm-hmm.
wife brought her younger brother, and I
Oh.
never forget this. So the younger brother walks in. He grown, and he walks in the house, and he gets to the kitchen. He gets on the island and the stove and all that, and he starts making this huge plate. And I walk over to him and I say, "Hey man," he's like, "What?" I said, "Who? I don't care how hungry you are. You're not finna out eat everybody in the house. This ain't all for you." And then he
Right.
was like, and then he had to put the plate. He's like, "I'm hungry." I said, "I don't care. You ever heard of seconds? You ever heard of coming back and getting seconds? Like you actually think you gonna put first, seconds, and thirds on the plate and let everybody figure it out after that?" I was like, "Ain't no way."
Yeah.
And he's, and he had to look at his sister, and she know how I get down. She like, you better try, you better put that stuff back. Yeah, because he will hit you. Like, but the reason I say that is because um and I've learned this, like I've had exes, and we've had these same type of conversations. What I've learned from just food and dinner is, whether it's a soul food Sunday, whether it's a crawfish boil, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Christmas, whether it's like Super Bowl, whatever it is, right? More and more I saw people who try to take excessively more than they brought,
Hmm.
and people who didn't really bring nothing, but they wanted to take everything. And the problem with that is you let people know how much of a jerk you are as a human being. You don't go to a feast and bring Tupperware. You
Right.
don't do that. You
Don't
don't
do that
you
no
don't
more.
you don't go to an event and make it all about you when it's a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You don't make a plate for yourself, and you got kids, and you don't make your kids a plate. You get what I'm saying? Like, people, we've gotten to a society where people have gotten so self-centered that sometimes I look at it when you talk about like at dinner time and food, it's like, oh wow, you really gonna do that? And people go, oh, like, I think people don't realize, like, I've got family members who are excessive eaters, and and I've learned this with other people. I think people don't realize you can't sit down at a table and say, "Oh, I love to eat, so I'm gonna just take the bulk of this because I love to eat." Because there was a time period you're gonna get stomped out for
Yeah.
the disrespect.
That's a good point.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
you don't do that. You don't go to a barbecue and take a whole slab of ribs and just walk. You don't do that.
But even at your own home, right?
Right.
You don't do nothing like that. You save, or if you know you brought something, you ask that person, "Can I have it?" You don't have no right to go into. You don't have no right to go. Oh yeah, those repercussions. And I'm just saying it nice.
And I'm using it as a reference to manners. Like, I got into my own father. There's a time my father got sick and he lived with me. And there's certain things I do not do. So my father looks like Vince Wilfork. That's how my father looks. Like, that's how he looks, and he's built like Vince Wilfork. And he's been that way. But um he walked, I went to bed, I made dinner or something like that. I think I made dinner, and I have leftovers, like a plate or whatever that I had. I got up because I got real good hearing, because I heard something in the middle of the night. And I walk in the kitchen, and my dad's in the kitchen like 2 in the morning, with a fork, eating out of the cooked food, the leftovers.
Oh no. Oh man.
So I looked at him. I said, "Hey man," I had to. I think that's when I told him what I told him. But um, he was like, "Man, I'm hungry." I said, "I basically, I had to tell my dad, bro, I don't give a what you are. Don't you ever put your mouth in? We family. Nah, I don't want to hear that.
And then
For
do
one,
that.
you in
Yeah.
here sneaking around, trying to eat everything in the middle of the night. For two, don't nobody want to eat your spit, man. Like, mind your manners, mind your business." And the
Right.
reason I'm saying, what's happening with it? The reason I'm saying what I'm saying is, even when people have talked about the whole relationship thing, one of the biggest issues was in dating was what? People going out on dates and showing how much of a jerk they were by how they was trying to excessively charge people up for food or order excessively or get stuff to go and leave. So this idea that people don't have an understanding that, and this is a general sense,
Yeah.
the world has a finite amount of resources. When you meet a person that's willing to take all the resources for themselves,
Uh-huh.
you'll meet a person that will kill you
Mm-hmm.
if things went bad. Like I clown with my wife about this. I said, let's just say I have a garden. And she's like, okay. So if I have a garden, and let's just say, the economy got bad to the point where we got inflation to the point like it's like the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
If I got a garden and you come to my house and you try to steal 50% of my food in my garden, you're gonna get shot. Because you got to have oh well, I'm hungry. So you seeing all of these resources, and instead of asking for some, or can I get a little bit, you think you're gonna take the bulk of it. And what that means is it's not the resources that's the issue, it's the work that was put into it. So
Right.
you're gonna take my 3 months of farming and just walk out the door. No, we're not doing that. If I'm collecting water, you're gonna drink, half of the water because I ain't got a chance. I'm thirsty now. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. Because see, people don't realize selfishness in the world will kill a person.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
Yeah, we're gonna go another step. Just for me, it's this consideration, and when we was coming up, even Big Duke was coming up, and also Tom Malone, brother A&1. It's all about respect in a household too. You did certain things. It's a no. You don't go and check on people. Look at people's pots. I don't care. You wash your hands. No, 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 no. This is off limits. You go there and lay on wherever it is. That's off limits. Even the grandma, talking conversation. That's off. No, that's off limits. That's how we was raised. No, I mean like, no, you almost say that. Oh, I suppose no, you almost have that. But that's not the point. That's not yours. You ask. Now, if they give you permission, that's different. You don't go take and see whatever you want to see and get it. And then, but at the same time, when you bring pressure to that, you get mad. And that's why by the last hour, now it's born. We talking about overly emotional people. I think we got to continue on that in the near future because now we deal with overly emotional men because they could do whatever they want, but at the same time, life could treat you fair or it could be fatal, and ain't nobody ain't gonna be holding your goddamn hand. I'm being honest with y'all. So y'all keep it up. Keep it up. You want somebody to hold your hand. Because in life, it ain't like that. You gotta deal with that. Now we off that. We're gonna talk more about that anyway. Now I know you want to talk about the Jets, what Aaron Rodgers. We could tap into that. Then that's something.
It didn't work out.
Nah,
It didn't work out.
didn't
So
work
it
out.
is. So my personal opinion, they should get somebody like Hendon Hooker as the quarterback. The defense is solid. Run the ball and keep Devontae if you can. Keep him and Garrett.
Yeah.
Because what they need is they need a quarterback, but they also need to change the culture.
Yeah.
The defense has always been solid, but and to me, if they would have just ran the ball more with the two running backs, that would have kept a lot of things.
Yeah.
They're a team that got all the players. They just don't have the I'm gonna just be honest with you. They just don't have a heart. They quitters. They got a bunch of dogs on both sides, but too many players are quitters.
Wow, wow. I see a bunch of wow, 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 wow.
You're just like, man, come on.
Yeah.
So Aaron Glenn, shout out to him. But you're gonna have to, I can't uh I, the one thing I never understood about the Jets, honestly, and I'm a Saints fan too, I'm an Eagles fan too. These are the only three teams I really watch like that. Is and for all y'all who are Jets fans, you're gonna remember this. There's a reason why John Abraham set out them playoff games when he was when he was about to get a new contract. I remember that. And the reason was because he couldn't trust them.
Yeah.
I can't trust you. I can't play for you under these circumstances because I can't trust you. I can't trust if something happened in this game to me that you're gonna look out for me after it's over with.
Mhm.
So I know that's been a long issue. You get what I'm saying? I remember when Brett Favre went to the Jets, and people to this day don't remember when Thomas Jones said, "What man, that dude quit. We was in the
Yeah.
playoffs, he quit."
Quit. Right.
And they have they have a bad history of this, where you need a leader that's a dog. Like a lot of times they get leaders that quit on the team, and it's like, bro, I'm gonna just be honest. I like Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But here's the
Yeah.
problem. I also look at Aaron Rodgers is I don't understand how you turned into Brett Favre. Because he was the he was the backup to Brett Favre. Brett Favre
Right.
was a jerk to him. Brett Favre did all these shenanigans, but it's just Aaron Rodgers has become Brett Favre. It's like, bro, like, what are you doing? And it's like, it's to me it's unnecessary. I still think he's still one of the best to ever do it, but he just became a prima donna. You didn't show up to camp twice.
Right.
So when the season starts, like, why I don't look good? Because he ain't ready.
Right.
You got rid of the coach and got worse because the coach wasn't the problem. You got rid of
Yeah.
the coach because the quarterback said get rid of the coach, and then you went downhill, and it hadn't dawned on you. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to the quarterback who didn't show up for camp.
Right. And it was on when they got rid of the coach. It was on the Jets only was 2-3.
And slid clean off the mountain.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I mean, you got a good secondary, you got good linebackers, you got a good D line, you got you got a decent offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, one of your linemen just won the Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Exactly. And gave up on him. First round pick. Gave up.
So what it is a lot of times is, they don't want to deal with the reality. I mean, you're still better off than the Giants right now, but the issue becomes if the Giants, their organization is known to get it together. The Jets ain't. The Jets organization is not known to get it together.
No, not at all.
And it's weird when you got a gang of pieces to be successful and you're still not successful.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a standard issue. Like I still, and it's sad to say this because I don't want to be a cold-blooded person. I'm still upset when I hear Mark Gastineau talking about Michael Strahan. He took the sack. It's like, Mark, shut up. I know you older. I know you got like Parkinson's or something, but cut it out.
Yeah, exactly. Why you keep on talking about?
They're not gonna never give you that sack record again. It's over with.
Right. It's done. Get over it.
It's a lot of, you know, like people don't realize the amount of players that they've had probably in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
You had Curtis Martin, who's probably
Yep.
what still top five or top five, top seven in all time rushing.
Yep.
I remember they had Santana Moss and Lavernius Coles.
And Vernon's coach. Yep.
It's like, bro, what are y'all doing? You know, people don't realize, like, I remember you had Lamont Jordan after on the back end of Curtis Martin.
Yep.
I remember when they got Thomas Jones from the
I'm
Bears.
George.
I remember
Yep.
when they had Brandon Marshall coming there. It's like they always had the same type of issue.
Yeah.
You got one side of the ball doing right, and the other side is giving it all up
For decades. This been going on for decades.
So it's like, hey man, that's y'all issue. Y'all gonna keep that problem until you decide to say, the closest person to get it right was Rex Ryan.
Right.
The closest person to get it right was Rex. But it's like, dog, y'all don't know how to, y'all don't know how to. They don't know how to build, and they don't know how to consistently compete.
Right.
You can't depend on them to go on a 4-5 year stretch of being excellent. They might get 2 years here and drop off for 2 years or drop off for 3 years, and they can't keep a standard of excellence. Honestly, and I'm gonna be cold blooded when I say this. You should have kept L.A.R. Reid when he was there just to teach you how to win, even though he was on the back end of his career.
Yeah.
You should have just kept him there so he could teach people, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this. But nope, you didn't want to do that.
Yeah. I know. Gotcha. Now, I'm gonna bring in one more sports thing, then we're gonna go. Now there are people saying that the Eagles won the Super Bowl because of the refs.
No, they won the Super Bowl because they beat the brakes off of the Chiefs.
Right.
That shout out to Jalen Hurts. I'm happy for you, brother.
Me too.
Shout out to Jalen Hurts. The Eagles just beat them. People got to understand, like, people have been getting on the refs cheating for the Chiefs for a minute, and they've given them a lot of questionable calls. But I think the Chiefs are not the Chiefs. The Eagles are the only team that actually showed up to play the Chiefs and was like, "We're not finna play this. We got to win by 2. I got to kick your teeth in."
Yeah.
So it was the attitude difference. Like I'm not getting in the shootout with you. I'm not getting it. Nope. It's gonna be a straight up butt kicking. Because the closer it is, the reason they keep saying that the refs was cheating because it was all close games. So in all the close games, you got the advantage. If you start smacking them around, there is no advantage. And you got to give shout out to Jalen Hurts because they really shut down Saquon.
Right.
But Jalen kept it moving.
And then Saquon would have got it going a little bit. Could have been worse.
It would have been worse.
I mean, would have
It
been worse.
But
shout out to the Eagles. I just want to bring that up because y'all need to be quiet, man. Y'all need to be quiet. Stop, man. I was happy.
I know why people are upset though. So before the Super Bowl, I was on Instagram. There was a brother who bet $1 million on the Chiefs. You know how many people didn't bet a gang of money? Oh, they gonna win. It's like, no, okay, well, y'all bet on this 3-peat, didn't you? You bet on a 3-peat and you lost. You lost your shirt. So now it's the ref's problem. It's not a ref problem when it was like 40-9 in like the third quarter.
Right.
Like, no.
But one thing I like about it, we talk about the fathers and stuff. When Jalen Hurts and his father hug each other, and you can see Jalen was crying. I enjoyed that. because they never show when a black man, especially when the father and the son embrace each other like that. Been through their path. And while
See,
seeing that, I'm being honest with you, bro. I was about getting teared up too seeing that.
Jalen, from my opinion, Jalen a grown man.
Yep.
And the reason I say that is because I remember like Jalen's from out here. It's a town called Channelview. It's like on the east side of Houston. Um, Jalen went to Alabama, won the national championship by getting benched and didn't say a word.
Nope.
Stayed at Alabama, got benched and didn't say a word. Went to Oklahoma, balled out, was overlooked really as being really good because he wasn't a thrower of the football at Alabama, but at Oklahoma it looked like that dude know what he doing. So
Right.
he was like a third round pick because of that. Sat on a bench in Philly, got the starting job.
Mm-hmm.
Started out, people thought it wasn't too good. Then the next year, he basically came out with a close to an MVP season. Led the Eagles to the Super Bowl, lost to the Chiefs, but he balled out that game. He wasn't the reason they lost. That he actually had won the game for him. The defense lost it the next series because that's how they lost to the Chiefs the first time. Comes back, they get AJ Brown. They start balling. AJ's happy because he left Tennessee. The next year is this year, basically. And now they got Saquon. And now the receiver, well, mostly AJ mad because they ain't throwing the ball. It's like your running back going for 2,000 yards and y'all winning. Shut up. Shut up. This ain't about you this time. Y'all winning. This boy going for 2K. Y'all winning. This is so now it's all the complaints of that. And the whole time he's steadfast. Because people gotta understand a person like if you look at Jalen Hurts is saying the right things, doing the right things, and you could tell he know how to keep his emotions in check because he ought to be cussing people out.
Yeah.
But he said all the right things, he did all the right things, and then they won a Super Bowl, and he really didn't even let go of all his emotions then.
No.
So, in my opinion, he a grown man and salute to him because now you can't. He's a winner, and now you can say he's a winner on the highest level.
Right.
He was a winner everywhere. Everywhere he go, they won. But people was like, oh, he couldn't show up in a big game. Obviously, he could because
Right.
he's the Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
So, it's nothing. All I want to see now is Lamar.
Right.
That's it. Lamar, get it. You and King Henry, go ahead and get y'all the championship next year. But Lamar got one problem, and when he addressed that one problem, and I heard him talk about it after the game. And shout out to Lamar too, because Lamar is a winner and he's a leader too. Because I love the way he stood up for Mark Andrews after that game.
Right.
I didn't like that people look at Andrews. Hey man, y'all better leave Mark Andrews alone. So both of them. But shout out to Jalen for winning. I'm glad the Eagles won. And by the way, since I said I was an Eagles fan for years too, don't get it twisted. I got love for Andy Reid. And I'm glad Andy Reid has won as much as he has in Kansas City because he deserves it. You get what I'm saying? So, but this time they came up short. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Now, this topic, all right. I put this. We know Trump became president. I call I did name Arm Crush 45, but he's Arm Crush 47 now. And a lot of changes has happened. He said, in the Bay, when you go certain places, it's gonna be men and women. Ain't no more LGBT, all that. He didn't want to bring order. What's your feelings about that?
To me, it didn't matter who became the president. I think both of them was going to do a horrible job, and they both for this particular reason. None of them are. Kamala didn't address it, and Trump really didn't address it. Nobody knows how they're gonna fix the deficit.
Right.
So I don't like everything else is just kind of TV fluff to get people's attention to go look at this. And it's like, bro, the deficit gonna keep going up. So until you fix that, America is gonna go down. America is gonna go downhill exceedingly fast because you never fix the deficit. So if you're complaining about inflation now, it's gonna get worse because you never fixed the deficit. So now it's only two genders. I didn't care the first time when they was like, when all these people was, well, I'm this, I'm that. I don't care what you say. I'm not paying attention to you because I'm not finna get into this dumb argument with you about you or them, they, him. I don't care. Not my problem. Who gonna go? What if a man walks into a woman's bathroom? No, because women ain't walking in the men's bathrooms. You ain't gonna just because you got a dude in a dress walking in a woman's bathroom, you not finna get a lesbian stud walking in the man's bathroom because that's not where they want to be. So like a lot of this stuff becomes, for me, it's like, man, y'all playing games. We're gonna do this and we're gonna have all these executive orders and people freaking out. I'm like, they're executive orders. Like, how don't y'all know? Like, y'all this old and y'all don't know all them executive orders won't stick. Presidents come in office and they sign executive orders all the time. Some of them stick, most of them don't. And even the ones that people don't like, if the next president come, they reverse them. So to me, it's like just a smoke and mirrors, dog and pony show. And I'm not finna watch it and go, oh, what they do this week? What they do this week? I'm looking at it like, you better be concerned about what you doing this week. Because these people ain't gonna do nothing for you.
Yeah. That is true. Now, anybody, you want to take questions while we chopping it up?
It's up to you, man. I'm good.
Okay. Anybody want to ask any questions? Let me know. Put it up so I'll ask. Oh, Tom Malone said oh man, he said we used to. I gotta go up. LT man, what's good? Welcome. Chicago in the
West
house.
side
You
is
know
the best
that
side.
Side Town. We
West
talking about
side is the
Side
best
Town.
side.
Alright. Let's see. Yeah, copy. I was got one rich. He said, let's see. Let's see. There's a comment on let's see. I told Malone that he said, yo, he said me and you both are very underrated on YouTube.
You don't want to know my opinion on YouTube. I don't
I
even
know.
care no more.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't even care no more.
Me either. Like,
I'm gonna make my content the way I make it, when I make it, how I don't care about YouTube no more. YouTube, you gotta understand, like, even with this political stuff, like I've been on YouTube so long, I remember all the ways people blew up on YouTube. People was pranking people and blew up. Dudes was having a beard and wearing makeup and blowing up. You get what I'm saying? Like, women was being man haters and blowing up. Black dudes was being sellouts to blow up. White dudes was being super progressive or super conservative to blow up. Like people were just doing just the most. Just the most. Like even to this day, people have been doing the most. It's a difference between being controversial and just just being, you know, how, just being off the charts. But that's entertaining on YouTube.
Yep.
People blow up on YouTube for doing absolutely nothing. They just, you got. I remember people streaming and playing video games, making faces. Oh God, look at! Oh, this is great. Like, man, all right, whatever, man. Like YouTube, there is no set way to you if YouTube wants you to get more exposure, they'll do it. If they don't, they won't.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You
Mm-hmm.
can build your own platform, you can build your own brand, you can build your own following, but you got to understand something. You can follow all of YouTube's rules and guidelines and everything they tell you to do. And if you're on YouTube, do this and do that and do that. Like sometimes they tell you stuff that works. If they tell you to use shorts and shorts to blow up your channel, they're not lying to you. It's just they don't tell you the whole story. Nobody's going to watch your actual long form content. They just going to watch your shorts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen. People don't remember when YouTube, one of the reasons that the super chat button is there because
Yep.
they didn't want to pay people as much anymore. And they thought they was going to do the super chat thing so people could make up the difference. And people started making a whole lot of money in super chats. And then they started charging people for the super chats.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, we can't do that. So it's always been YouTube is a it's a business, but it's biased.
It
It's
is.
biased.
It really is. It really is. What you think the conditions of the family in our community now? Do you see both the black men and the black woman will work and stick together to form a family again, or those days are over?
I family, I'm not too sure about. And it's not like sometimes it's not for the reason that people think. Um, and I said this recently in a video actually. And I hate to say it this way, but it's true. Our women need to be retrained on what love and relationships are because they don't they don't know how to reciprocate. Just in a general sense. You want stuff, but you don't know how to reciprocate in a general sense. So, and on the flip side is that's just man to woman. But as far as the family goes, the families need to be retrained on how to be a family because the biggest issue I've seen with family in our community is there was a time where the mother side, the father side, the mother of the child and the father of the child, them two sides didn't allow um a parent to be alienated. Like if you're a mother and you say you don't want the kid to be around the dad no more, your mother and father wouldn't let you not have the kid around the father side of the family.
Right.
Now it's a one-sided show. So that needs to be fixed. And that's that's becoming an issue. I think people are going to be forced to have to work together because the economy is just going to tank. You see that more and more now. And I hate to say it, but when you saw with the young lady, the kids died in Detroit.
Yeah.
It was like 8 people in the car. It was her and her mother, her 4 kids, her mother, and like 2 teenage kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, and people don't want to hear it, but um it's no okay, well, it's no nice way to say this. Even when Kevin was alive and he was telling you people that 51 to now like 54% of black men don't have kids. The idea of using child support as an extra bump in your income or extra income, since people ain't having kids like they used to, that's not going to work. So what you're seeing is more people are single and they can't afford to be single. That's why you're seeing so many people evicted. That's why you've seen so many people trying to move back home with their friends. That's why you've seen so many people become roommates because they can't afford to be on their own anymore. And people don't want to say that the truth of the matter is people don't want to be poor. And what I mean is, even in this city, apartments can go are like 1,600, 1,800, 2,000 for a one bedroom. But they still have janky apartment complexes that you can get an apartment for $399 and for $500, but they janky. They're in a bad spot. Nobody wants to live there. But people gonna have to go, okay, well, if you don't want to live there, where you gonna live? And you can't live with somebody and be a jerk. That's our relationship issues now. People want to live with people and be a jerk to them. If that's not cool.
Mhm.
It's just we're in a bad spot just because of selfishness. And if I really want to be cold blooded, which I don't want to be, but I'll say this: a lot of us ain't even healthy enough physically for a good relationship.
Mm.
A lot of people aren't considerate enough for a good relationship. So, can the relationships change? Yeah, but the people got to change.
So you're actually saying, brother, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Also, we need to be retrained in marriages and also relationships.
We don't need to be retrained in marriages because we ain't getting a marriage because most people can't get a relationship right.
Okay. Okay, we cut that out then. What about relationships? We train
Yeah,
being a
like
relationship.
absolutely, like that, like okay, well, we're gonna go down this hole. If somebody cook and you don't do the dishes, you a problem. If um if you two are working and somebody's short on something, but they're paying the majority of the matter of fact, if it's two people and somebody's paying the rent and the other person's not paying the other bills, we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like if one person is sick and one person is healthy, and the healthy person don't take care of the sick person, we got a problem.
Well, so you're actually saying, right? But throw this scenario out, right? We got grown people live in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that I'm putting in society sense now. Working, you don't have to worry about watching over the house. But I feel like this, right? Despite you working, right? If you got meat, if you got dinner, right? That you could prepare, right? Also, you got laundry to
Mm-hmm.
do with, right? This on your day off, right? And also, you can still play your video game, watch TV, right? All that could be done, right?
Absolutely. But the
Right?
people doing it,
But we talking about running a household, right?
but are people doing it?
No, but let me throw this out there. How there are people who involved in relationships, right? You go visit, right? They expect that person to pick up the slack. I had it told to me.
But here's where we have issues. People have a short memory. People have a shorter memory and people got lazier. Like I remember I hate to say this story. I really do. I remember I had a friend of mine staying with me, and then they needed and then they asked, can one of their family members stay too after a little bit? And I said, cool. And I remember I had to go and cut the grass, edge the yard, put mulch down, and trim the hedges and all that other stuff. And I got up on a weekend, I did it, came back in the house, took a shower, and that particular friend of mine, she said, man, my sister just said, that needed to be done. And look how it manifests. And I looked at it, I said, that don't manifest. I was out there for hours. And the reason I'm saying this, and I was just a friend of mine. We weren't in a relationship, but the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because, and I've learned this over time dealing with people in relationships. And now that I'm married, it's a different story. But when people are dating, they're, like you said, looking for somebody to take up the slack. They're looking for somebody to put their life on vacation.
Mm.
They're not looking for a relationship. They're looking for somebody who could say, okay, they gonna pay the bills. They gonna work, they gonna pay the bills. They gonna pay for us to go out. They gonna put gas in the car. They gonna get the oil change. They gonna pay for the vacations. They gonna pay for everything. And I deserve this. And it's like, that's not how this stuff works. That's not how it works. Like, you can't work a person to death and tell them you love them. And that's where we're at in society. Like, we want to work somebody to death and say, oh, I love you because you let me do nothing. It's like, no, 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 no. Or you think, if I'm gonna make you do all this extra stuff. Because, if you're in a relationship with me, you got to do all this stuff. And I'm like, wait. Time out. Like, because and this is where I'm gonna backtrack and say something. Because I've noticed that I've seen too many people use a relationship as a way to stop being an adult. There was a functional adult before they got in a relationship. Then when they're in a relationship, I don't know how to do nothing no more. That becomes an issue now. That's where we're at now. Like, I don't know how to do that. How you don't know how to do that? Oh, now you don't know how to budget. Now you don't know how to cook. Now you don't know how to clean. Now you don't, you know what I'm saying? Now you don't know how to actually go to work. Now you calling in. Now it's like, oh, okay, wait a minute now. Now you can't, like you can't raise the kids now. Now you can't help them with their homework. Like, what's really going on?
Well, yeah, but also too, bro, right? I know this guy, born and raised in Brooklyn. He was dealing with this young lady. She already had kids, right? But this was going on long before he came, right? He said, "Yo, man, come." He said, "Come with me," because we was on the same basketball team. So he said, "I gotta go pick up my gear." I said, "All right, so come there." He said, "Yeah, they said that you wouldn't help them cleaning." So I don't live here. They mess it up. They gotta clean it up. This was happening long before. He said, "Listen, I come if you want your room to be clean and do so that I do that, but I'm not clean after
So
another grown person."
I remember getting into it with my son about this, right? He didn't understand it till he understands now, but I remember him he, I told him to clean his room and he didn't. But then my wife was at the time was at her house. She was like, I gotta clean my garage. And then my son volunteered to do it. You gonna pay me? And I
Mhm.
looked at him and I said, oh, let me get this right. No, I let him do it. She was like, "Look," she's, I'm gonna pay him, don't worry. I said, okay. And I waited until he got done, right? I waited till he got done. He got done. It was immaculate. He did a great job. And I waited, and then he got the money in his hand. I said, hey man, so you mean to tell me you can't pick up after yourself but you can pick up after somebody else if they paying you. You got a problem. And he's looking at me like, what? I said, yeah, you go, because he was like, we had to have that conversation, and I had to explain to him. I said, oh, so who you think gonna pick up after you when you are out on your own?
Hmm?
Oh, you gonna pay somebody to do it? He's like, no. I said, well, who gonna do it? Yeah, who gonna do it?
Do
And
what?
and the reason I said, like, add to what you're saying is there are people out here who don't even think about being self-sufficient. They think being self-sufficient is getting somebody else to do it. And it's like, no, because ain't nobody gonna do it. So like, and I know that going to people's houses and looking like, man, y'all live like this?
Yeah.
And I'm one of the people like, man, I remember my son's rooms got so messy. I said, dude, you live like a crackhead. And he was like, what? I said, you live like a crackhead. That's what I said. And he's like, whatever. And I waited. I ain't messed with it. I waited. My older cousin came because they took me to a football camp. And his best friend is a detective. So they come to the house, they chill out. I said, hey, go to my son's room and tell me how what that look like to you. And he opened the door. He's like, you living like a crackhead. And and
Oh, God.
and I look and I said, you know what he do for a living? He's like, nah. See, a detective, he a cop. You think he don't know he know what how a crackhead and he's looking and he's like, wait a minute, what? I said, yeah, see, you don't know it's that bad. And then it was like, because some people gotta, you gotta actually show it and prove it to them. And I'm one of the people that, I'm considered petty because I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna do it for you. I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna put you in a situation where you got to do it for yourself. And if and then you go and it's like the worse you make this, the worse it's gonna be. And I learned years ago, you know, dating, dealing with people, going places. And this might sound cold. This might sound cold. It might sound weird, but I gotta watch people because the. Ooh, I don't like this.
Say it.
I gotta look at you and ask the question: the way you take care of yourself, you're gonna take care of people worse than that. And people don't get it. Like, if I see how you taking care of yourself, I know anybody that comes in contact with you, you're gonna take care of them worse than that. So we're living in a world where people don't want to like I do cold like I tell my friends are like, hey, they be like, man, I feel like I'm gaining too much weight. I said, well, what you eating? And they say, I go here, I go here, I go here. I said, do me a favor, go over there, go to that fast food spot. It's like, okay, walk in. It's like, okay, sit down before you order. Sit down for like 10, 20, 30 minutes. Like, why? Because I want you to watch all the customers that come in there and see if they all got the same thing in common with you. And if they do, guess what? You need to get up and leave. Because it's the same thing. It's a little bit in and off, but it's the same thing if I go to the grocery store. If I see you buying beer and not food, I know what's up. If I see you buying snacks and not vegetables and fruits, I know what's up. If I see you buying a gang of soda, I know what's up. You're not taking care of yourself like you should. And you could live a good, healthy life and still be sick, get sick. But it ain't no reason to add to it. Because I've seen too many people in life, you know, man, I've had friends die because of stress,
Yeah.
heart attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Friends had strokes, aneurysms. You know what I'm saying? Like just blood, people close to death, blood clots, and people don't want to hear it, but I don't think people know how bad it is to try to help somebody and nurse somebody's back to health that really ran themselves into the ground unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like I know people who drank themselves into psoriasis. You know, one of my I know people who smoke themselves. Like people think like some people I talk about like weed smokers. They think I have an issue with weed, and I was like, no, I got an issue with dope fiends. People don't realize like people when you have a bad habit, it costs a lot of money,
Yep. It does.
and people don't count up like, oh, I need help with this, I need help with that, and it's like, man, I'm not finna help you. You're not helping yourself. You need $50 for gas, but I see you, smoking $20 worth of weed. No, you need help with your rent, but you've been drinking for the last 4 days. And no, I'm not doing it. You know, even the same thing. I got like one of my best friends. He's one of my groomsmen. Because when you get to know people, you know people.
Yep.
So he's a nightlife guy. Cool. He's cool as a fan, but he's always like the nightlife. And he started gaining weight, and I knew how to get him. I said, "Hey man, if you keep eating and drinking like that, and drinking specifically, you're gonna get type 2 diabetes." He like, "Man, I'm feeling good." I said, "Hey man, if you get type 2 diabetes, you might not be able to get it up for so sex life gonna it might go down the drain." And he looked at me, he was like, "Man, shut up." And what happened was maybe about 6 months later, he had to go to the doctor and he wound up with type 2 diabetes. He called me, he cussed me out, and then he said, "Hey, I'm going to jujitsu. I'm going to whatever, something fit, whatever." I forgot how that was. CrossFit. He was doing everything. He said, "I ain't, because he's like the weight wasn't the issue. He's like, I ain't finna be out here with erectile dysfunction." I was like, "I get exactly." Some of my other friends, we got different ways to motivate each other. Some of our friends like, "Oh man, I want to make a certain amount of money." It's like, well, you know, uh, if you want to make that certain amount of money, you're gonna have to do more. I don't feel like doing more. Well, you ain't gonna make that amount of money. It's like, oh dang. So, I just thought about stuff. I'm about to crack up over here. Um, I'm gonna say this: your life is important to you, and I say it that way. Don't put a person in a position that they have to put their life on hold to make sure you understand that your life is important. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think people realize how hard it is to get somebody motivated, get somebody out of a hole. I don't think people realize the amount of effort that takes. You know what I'm saying? To get somebody to who wants to be better to better themselves. I don't think people get the strain of that. Like some people are burnt out because they help too many people. Some people are burnt out because they know the answers and they got solutions, and they're the only ones. Like talking don't do nothing, honestly. Some people are burnt out because of their actions. They got to do all these different things, and it's like they done. Same thing with this, same thing as being on YouTube. Like it takes energy to make videos. It takes energy to make content. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say this. If you got one life to live, treat it and respect it like you got one life to live. And that goes for your life for yourself and the relationships you have. Because if you live long enough, you know there ain't no do-overs. There family members that ain't coming back. There friends that ain't coming back. Things happen, accidents happen, and people don't come back. And I'm just speaking from personal experience. Y'all don't understand. Some people don't understand that you could talk to somebody and 30 minutes later they could be gone.
Oh,
And I'm talking from like 30. Talk to you later. And that's the last time. So, with all of this stuff going on, you got to respect life. Just like if you don't respect life, man, it's not gonna. I've learned my lessons, man. It ain't, you know, life is not fun when you put yourself in a bad spot.
it ain't. And also before, because I want you to ask questions about me too. Please do. And also, the guy say this when you live by yourself, because see, you cannot afford to get. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in marriage, and I'm not saying it happen in relationship. I'm not saying that. But when you live by yourself, you got to make sure your health is there. Every little thing that happen, you got to check it. Even like when you go pay bills, if you don't feel good, you got to get up and pay bills. Even if you don't feel like, I mean you need food in the house, you got to get up and travel and get it because ain't nobody there. And people fail to understand that I could tell you it was one time. I never forget it, bro. This when I first moved in the apartment I'm in right now. I'm out of town, but right for the second week, I was not feeling good. I was not feeling good, and it was cold outside Virginia at that time. It was cold. I'm like, but I took a shower, bundle, make sure it cool, bundle myself up. Usually I pay rent, go around the corner, take like about 5 minutes. It took me like 20 minutes, and my body was aching. And they say, "Hey, how you doing, Mister? You come here." I said, "No, I like to get it." Then I said, "Oh, I got to get some more stuff for the house because I don't feel good."
Then you got to do
Get
that.
on the bus. Get on the bus for that. And I'm talking about struggling. God got me home, and it was not the first time. I was giving y'all, let you know that ain't no joke. And then you gotta get home, take it out of the bag, right? And you gotta put here, stuff
Yeah.
there, so you go organize. And then at the same time, think about what other bills you gotta pay. Then you gotta deal with that. And that's me as a content creator. I was thinking about it. I said, I ain't gonna do nothing like that. And then you hungry already, so you gotta fix you something to eat. Out of all that, your mental, you tapping out now. I mean, temporary tapping out. And you eat that food. Sometimes you so tired, you don't even want to. I said, let me put it away. Then you go to bed, and sometimes you don't even be tired. Then you got. I said, I gotta clean the house because the house gotta be clean.
Yeah.
Ain't no joke, y'all.
I'm gonna ask this.
Okay.
So far, just in life, what's your favorite city now?
Oh, it's gonna be New York.
What's your
That's
number
hometown.
two?
It can't be Virginia. I said Maryland.
The DMV?
Yeah.
Reason, okay. The reason I asked, well, see, ooh, I know this to be true. How different is the culture from the DMV to New York?
It's no different.
There's no difference to you?
To me, it's not.
Okay. What about to Philly? No?
No, not to me. It ain't.
So what makes it the
Now, if
same?
you ask me for the Virginia part,
Yeah.
it is different because of the structure of it. Virginia is a commonwealth, so they do things differently. I'm talking about um the central part and going to this in the southern part of Virginia. It's
Night and day.
dying day. I'm talking about the mindset, everything. It's like that's why, like, when you have people, they say you go New York, you adopt anywhere. Now, I would say this: if you was like in a big city, you were born and raised in a big city. If you not to adopt it, you could adopt Virginia, but at the same time, you'd be like,
You- Like, see, I've learned that too, where it's a big difference going from a big city to a smaller city.
much different.
You know, sometimes some things are good and some things are not so good. Like people don't realize, like, like when I know people who grew up in smaller cities, I try to tell them, hey, man, it might not be a good idea to go to a bigger city because you might not be able to. You got to pick certain places to go. You can't just go from this town to that town. It's going the learning curve gonna be crazy.
Very crazy, yeah.
But when you go to a big city to a smaller city, the learning curve ain't as much, but predominantly because it's smaller. But to me, it's just always a different environment because I've been like I remember being the first time I went to Savannah, and but I've also been in Atlanta because I got family in Atlanta.
Right.
And in the same state, Savannah and Atlanta, night and day, night and day. And I'm like, yo, this same thing with New Orleans. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, completely different. Stay in the same, they're an hour apart, completely different. You know, same like Chicago is the same thing. Like, you know, Chicago is completely different from Minneapolis, from Indianapolis. Detroit is close to, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like I've learned over the years that if I go from here to here, whew, you know, it might be I might be in a new world.
That is true though, because um I know from going to Virginia for DMV, much different. Like 9 day. 9 day. It's total it's different.
Because people who don't know the DMV, y'all realize DC and Baltimore completely different.
Yeah.
You in the same, you get on a different freeway, you gonna go to a different place.
Yeah, it is, right. And
Uh,
even like even DC, there are some people said DC is like New York.
hmm,
You know,
hmm,
there are some told me that I said like no.
hmm, I don't know about that. You got to pick a borough or something because it ain't.
Right. But there are some people said Washington is like Brooklyn. I said, mm,
I don't, I don't see it. But people don't like. They're like certain places are unique. DC is unique. New York is unique. You get what I'm saying? Miami in America, unique. New Orleans, unique. Chicago, unique. Um, Dallas, unique. L.A., unique. The Bay Area, you like there are certain places that are unique to America,
Right.
but because you're not going because it's not just the city is different, the surroundings are different, the architecture is different, the people are different,
Yeah.
you know. But there's certain places it's like once you get like to a certain, you know, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Louisville, St. Louis, kind of
Was
unique. St. Louis, boy, you better. St. Louis ain't playing. Um, like Memphis, Nashville, like not. I was about to say Charlotte. They're different. To me, what Atlanta and Charlotte is like a 3-hour drive, but you're gonna be in a completely different. It's just to me, it's like it's different. Same thing with Nashville, different, you know. But it's another reason I say that. But and I'm about to be cold blooded and ask the question.
right.
So oh my God,
Just
why am
ask
I
it.
doing this? Why am I doing this? Do you think people who aren't New Yorkers are right when they think New York is overrated?
Me right now,
Yeah,
I think New York is overrated.
because I'm gonna say this. I'm asking this for a reason. Because if you go to Miami, your fantasy of Miami and what Miami is not gonna hit the same. Um, if you go to and I'm if you go to Atlanta, Atlanta's pretty consistent. Dallas is pretty consistent. But to me, every city where it gets cold, people don't really know the city when they visit. Because the summer city is different from the winter city.
Much more different. Right.
So, and that's why I'm asking, because people don't know, like, oh, yeah, I had a bad time. Like, when did you go though?
I would say it depends when you go to New York. It's not overrated. New York is always going to be New York. I don't care what change it is, whatever culture it is. It depends where you go. If you go in the summertime, it might be underrated. I'm saying for me born and raised in New York, the way how they built it right now, there are some people think it's underrated because overrated because, because there's certain factors there. When I was coming up, it wasn't like that. So it depends. It depends when if you go in the cold, that's a different animal in New York. That's much more. I mean, everything that you think in New York is different. I can't. People say, "What you explain?" I can't explain. You gotta deal with the elements, what's going on in every else, to understand that. So for me, it's like, oh yeah, I'm at 42nd Street. Used to have like this and that. But I can get off 42nd Street. To me, it's still the same. All right, you got new people. 42nd Street, 42nd Street. I get off of 34th Street. Yeah, things change. 34th Street is like 34th Street. Mass Square Garden still Mass Square Garden. I'm talking about I'm talking about, the atmosphere still the same for me. I mean, I can roll. I can get on the train and go to
And
the
go
Bronx, certain parts of the Bronx, Yankee Stadium, and the same neighborhood. It's still there. It's the same. It's the same.
that from
I'm
my
just
point.
I'm just telling y'all because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. No, I mean, like when people say, New York overrated. New York ain't gonna never be overrated.
That's
Never.
because it's the same thing. Like if somebody go to Cali, we go to LA. It's
Right.
like, I shouldn't have done that. It is like because you don't know, like you going somewhere, but you don't really know where you're going.
No.
And see, and that's like the reason I said it because major cities are huge,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't realize like if you ever grew up in a major city, there are people from that city who rarely go to other parts of that city.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so like when when L said earlier, Chicago, Chi-Town. If you from the South, I grew up on the West Side. I wasn't on the South Side, and people on the South Side wasn't on the West Side
But
because it's like, hey man, you over there, I'm over here. So, but you know your area. There are people who like I know people who never left areas, even in New Orleans when I was a kid.
yeah, me too. I know people in life. Yeah.
So people don't like when they go places, they don't know, you know, where you going. You go to LA, it's spread out. You come to Houston, I don't have to leave in Houston. I don't have to leave a 5 square mile radius if I don't want to. So it I think people. No, it's one of the reasons I asked that is because people don't know the difference between a city with trains and a city with cars or
Much
buses.
different. Right. It's much
It's,
that's what see.
it's completely different.
That's why you had me ask that. And when I was playing, you remember I was telling you 34th Street,
Yeah,
42nd, and stop, you go train because it's convenient. You could just get on it and go. It's not like you could get in the car and go and wait for a parking space or go to wait for valet and stuff. In New York, you could, and even, and I'm not going one thing better. If you want to catch an Amtrak, go to parts of the United States, you
you
could
can
do
go.
that too. There's a Metro North on 42nd Street, on the east side of 42nd Street. We take the 4, 5, and 6. If you want to go to Connecticut or certain parts upstate New York, you could do that too. Or you could take the bus or Greyhound or go to different parts of the country.
And then,
But they're always something. They're always or you want to go on a circle line, you can take the it depends where you at. You get 42nd Street on the west side, right? And you could take the N42 bus down on the west side and take the circle line. I'm talking take the circle line to upstate New York. That's what I'm saying. That like you said, there's a difference
between the
when you have a car or train or bus. There's totally different. There are buses that you could take to the Bronx and go into Westchester County. That's what I'm saying. That piece. So when people talking about, oh, you know, I said that people got jobs in New York that lives in Connecticut, that lives in Jersey, that live in like Upper Westchester County, or I forgot the Long Island Railroad. That people live deep along our road and come to work. That's what I'm saying. That
like I,
New York could never be under. Not New York could never be
no, that's what
undereducated.
it's always a thing where like, and I've learned this, like cities are like New York's one of the few cities probably that has trains, subways, buses, and ferries.
Yeah, I forgot
And
about the ferry.
so, and the reason I said that is because a lot of people don't know how. A lot of people don't travel by ferry. A lot of people don't even know about that.
Right.
And the reason that's important at times is because, and it might sound weird, but cities close to water and cities enclosed are different. people are different.
Mm-hmm.
The seasons are different.
Very different. Yeah.
You know, because like people don't realize like you don't have like if you grew up in Vegas, you have a completely different experience than somebody who grew up just say in St. Louis. Completely different. Completely different. Just on terrain alone. Like the I like asking stuff like that because most people don't travel, most people don't know, or if you haven't been places. Because now if I was being petty, I was go, who got the better pizza? You see what I'm saying? That's petty. Because people from New York say
Yeah.
New York. They got people saying Jersey, people saying Philly,
Right.
people saying Chicago. There's differences everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
Like
And
Newark is just yeah.
right, and that's what I'm saying. I forgot. Yeah, what 12 hours talking about too. I forgot about the PAD train in World Trade Center. You can catch that. You can catch that at Newark Airport. That's what I'm saying.
That's
New York. There's many ways that you can get. And also, I forgot about this too. You could take the 4-5. You could take them. No, I'm talking about the 4. You could take the 4, the last stop of Woodlawn, and then you want to go to certain towns of Westchester County.
like
You could try to go that way too.
do me a favor on this one. If you was a if you saw somebody who was a tourist, wanted to just see it, for the best experience that they can have, rank the 5 boroughs to where you need to be, one of first to last, where you gonna get the best experience.
It depends what they ask for.
Okay, if they ask for food,
Yeah, the Beeline bus. Yes. That's gonna be hard because everything changed in New York. So I'm gonna
okay,
go. I'm gonna go. Everything changes. So I would say this. That I would say Manhattan because much more commercial. Brooklyn is too, but I said much more commercial. I said the whole Manhattan, not the Harlem included.
included.
Included. I said Manhattan. Um, what else? Food.
Cause you ain't sending them to Staten Island. You ain't sending them to Yonkers.
Yonkers, yo, a lot of people don't know. Yonkers is part of Westchester County.
Yeah,
It's not New York City. It's
right,
part of New York. It is.
but
But
it
it's
but it
not,
I,
but it's not the 5 boroughs. Mount Vernon's not the 5 boroughs. That's Westchester County. Now, Staten Island. I got now Staten Island. Staten Island has always been a sleeper. You get some good Italian food, but if you got a car, you got to go across the Verrazano Bridge, or there is a bus from Brooklyn. If you take the R train to the last stop, 95th Street in Brooklyn, there's a bus go to Staten Island. Also, you could take the one train to South Ferry. Leads you to the ferry. You can take the ferry across, go to Staten Island. Queens. Queens is a lot of stuff, but that's two fare zone. He said, "What's two fare zone?" You get off the train, you got end up taking a bus. They got a lot of two fare zones. Great there, but they got great stuff out there. Bronx, Bronx Bronx is good. You got the Bronx Zoo. You got the beaches. You got the beach. What's the name of that beach in the Bronx? But there's a bus goes out there, go to Fordham Road. But the Bronx, you got the Bronx Zoo. Bronx got some stuff out there too. Also I forgot the Bronx got Yankee Stadium and
right.
also
I,
Queens.
I'm sacrilegious.
Queens
I've
they
been a
got
Red
City
Sox
Lights
fan.
Stadium. Yeah, Queens got City Light Stadium. And also, I forgot. on the 7th or 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a big. It's big. You got the west side and you got the east side. So they got the shuttle. So you
to
want to
go.
go take the 7 train to see the Met games. If you on the west side, you got to take the shuttle. And you got when you take the shuttle, that's where the 7 train goes. And the 7 train, they go Archer Beach. There you go. Thank you, sister on 12 hours. Yeah, there's a Fordham road bus goes straight to Archer Beach. And I've been up there. And then yeah, you gotta be real careful out there because you don't know something. They will get you. I don't know out there, but it's been years. But like I said, L.R. All right. Long Island Railroad. You can catch Long Island Railroad from Brooklyn. You can catch Long Island Railroad from Queens. You can catch Long Island Railroad from the Bronx. Even Queens. The only thing you can't catch it from Staten Island because Staten Island got all Staten Island got their own train line go from end to end. And
See, man,
so you know, it's I mean when people say I don't know where to go, I don't know how you can say that.
because I know for me, there are certain places I don't want to go because it's too big. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't finna go somewhere 5 days and then I gotta go from here to there. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. That's why people like places like Vegas because it's 4 miles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
5 miles down the strip. People like New Orleans, but I don't know why y'all fools be putting them dang on heels on walking in New Orleans. You out of your mind. Y'all crazy. It's cobblestone in New Orleans. You wear sneakers. He said you can hit every borough in one day. You cannot hit every borough in one day in New York if you're not from New York.
Right.
No, you
He
cannot.
said it because she's from New York. Right.
No, you cannot.
If you don't know where you go, you don't know. That's what I'm saying. And you got and at the same time though too, you gotta know the subway line, the bus line, because sometimes it breaks down. So do you know
No,
another route you can get to? And trust and believe, I see a lot of tourists be getting caught out there too.
I ain't
You
gonna
gotta
front.
know the shortcut. I give you a case in point. It was one time. I was living in the city. Suffolk Boulevard. Right. Take Suffolk. Yeah. So that the Jamaica Station. That's what you're talking about. When you talking Suffolk Boulevard, that's Jamaica Station. And in Queens. And then this guy had a lot of money in his pocket. Right? He said, I cannot catch the he said, I can't get on the train and take it to Queens, right? The 7 train, right? So I said, no, you can't go this way. They trying to send you somewhere else. Say, what do you mean to do? I said, what the best you need to do. I'm telling you, you take this. I said, you gotta get on the east side though, and you take the R train, get off the Queens Plaza, and call a cab and take you
to
to yeah, it take you to city life. You might have to take about $10-$15. But if you go that way, you see the 3P right there, they ready to get you.
see,
That's straight. They
man.
said, what? Nah. This is what I'm saying. Yo, he was black, right? I know he wasn't around here. You know what I mean? I could,
I
I said,
get
I
it.
gotta look out.
In Chicago, that's why people take the L. I hate the L, honestly, because it's all outside. I hate that. Like, like in New York, I know y'all got them over and under. In
Yeah.
Chicago, it's all over.
Yeah.
Mm. You said I could walk 4 boroughs. Don't no.
Like
Mm.
when people, I know you heard of Coney Island, right? And there's
Yeah.
somebody told me, say, could you walk from the boroughs or like you in Bronx and go to Coney Island? I said, yeah. I said you can, but you gotta walk through bridges and stuff. Now, if you in Brooklyn, period, I said, do you know how big Coney Island is? You know how long it takes you to walk the motherfucking Coney Island? And I'm talking about without stopping, because you got no shortcuts. That means you gotta know the neighborhood. There's certain neighborhoods you better not cut through Coney Island, because that means you gotta cut through where the mafia live at.
See,
You gotta cut through the you gotta learn how to go around it. Then you got some
dang.
Puerto Rican, you got some Puerto Rican do not like blacks.
And people don't believe that. They
That
still don't
happened,
believe that.
yeah. Yeah. They got their own set out there for years. Passed by generations. Can't go there. I'm like, you asked me, somebody said, what about I give you a case in point, right? When you're on the Verrazano Bridge on your way to Staten Island, one of the last stops is 86th Street, right?
Oh,
8th Street is a long damn street. It's a long street. It take you where the water at and go into Coney Island, Bensonhurst, and all that. You know, Bensonhurst number mafia live out there. Chief's
hold on.
Head Bay.
I forgot to ask you something.
Got
It's a boxing question.
okay.
Abdullah Mason. Have you watched Abdullah Mason?
Yes.
How can I put this? If he stay in that weight class,
If
age he's 20. If he stay in that weight class, who really gonna want to see him?
If he keep on improving, I don't see. I see him within 2 years. He could unify it.
What about
If he stay the course, if he don't switch another weight class, he said, yeah, I don't. I like him. I like if he get better. I don't see him who stop him,
what about
because that
Mouton?
means after that he got to go another weight class.
What about Mouton? Kermel, the young dude, the light skinned dude. He didn't make weight the last.
No, he didn't make weight. He got time. He got time. But that Zoom motherfucker, shit. That motherfucker. Every time I watched him twice. Every time, 2 times he got better. And at that same time, as you could tell, he's not in his grown man body yet.
I have not seen it. He's the only fighter right now that I've watched in years
Yeah,
that it don't look like he hitting hard.
not.
He just flooring people. It just pop like, whoa, what just happened?
And he just 20. Like, let me repeat that again. You know what I'm saying, bro? He's not in his full man body yet. When he get there, it's go. He flowing people now.
People need to know. You know, I know I like Shakur, I like Tank, Keyshawn, I rock with Devin, but in all honesty, don't let that boy get to 40.
He's still 20, man. People,
Don't let him go to 40.
yeah, man. They gonna try to keep. I'm telling you, he go on 40. That's when he gonna be in his full man. Nah, man.
Now it might sound cold because I thought about it when I was thinking about it when you said like Puerto Ricans don't like blacks, and it dawned on me. I was like, he gonna wind up fighting Teofimo.
Yeah.
He gonna find a fighting Teofimo.
And I'm not a Telefino fan. I call him Telefucko. I just don't like the way he do things. That's why I call him Telefucko. Excuse my language.
Because he not gonna fight Keyshawn. Because Keyshawn don't even want to fight him now. Because I remember the last time Keyshawn pressed him sitting next to him at a different fight,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't really want no problems then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, but he gonna mess around and and he gonna fight Mason, and it ain't gonna be pretty. And I think Fimo can fight. He got skills, but
Yeah, he
him and
do.
this him and this I want to be crazy 1 minute, and I want to be cool. Nah, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. let me get my Let me start the bounce, man. I'm getting sicker and
All
sicker over
right,
here.
all right. Thank you. Make your last remarks, brother.
I don't know what the hell happened. I got out of the sauna and I thought I was better. Now I'm getting worse.
You make your last remarks, brother. That's it.
All right. Shoot. Hold up. Hold up. I got to pause for a second because, God, dog. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to tell y'all, I appreciate you for having me, but I'm holding my breath so I don't start coughing crazy over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate y'all, but I
Thank
got
you.
to, yeah, because I'm
Okay,
holding it
thank you.
now.
All right, Nas. Thank you. Have a blessed one.
All right.
Yeah, that now just take care. So, um, thank y'all. I really appreciate you. I wish you would have came a little early, 12 Vows. I want y'all to go support this 12 Vows, right? Great, always great information she has. And she be in New York too. So everything she says is right on time. If you can hit me 12 Vows, press one. LT man, thanks for coming. Tom Malone, as always, thanks for coming. I forgot 12 Vows my day one. Tom Malone's my day one. Uh, Brother A and one, thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Fourth quarter talk, as always, thanks for coming. Uh, God, thank y'all. You know, I'm going to check on Niles. Hope he's all right and everything. Yeah, there wasn't saying nothing wrong with that. I've been moving around, so you know. But ain't nothing. Let me tell you, ain't nothing like NYC. Ain't nothing like New York. I can tell you. Oh yeah, 12 Fouls. I forgot to tell you. I'm going. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I'm gonna start a series talk about New York, and I think you'd be very interested because I'm gonna have people from New York tell them because people think they know New York, but they don't. You know, ain't nothing like New York, man. Ain't nothing like it, yo. I like see. We lived there. First, almost 46 years of my life, I was in. I would visit time to time again. Ain't nothing like it, yo. And despite they took away our culture as a people, but it ain't nothing like it. I would not trade that for the world, man. I mean, I'm shit, man. I mean, like, come on. Who could say they could take the train to a Broadway play? Who could say they could take the train to Bronx Zoo? Who could say they could take the train to Prospect Park? Or if you want to switch up and take the train to Central Park, who could say they could take the train to Woodlawn Park, Van Cortlandt Park, up there on the one train in the Bronx? Who could say that? Who could say you can take the train to Long Island Railroad and take it through Long Island? Who could say that you could take the train to Metro North and go to certain parts of Connecticut and upstate New York? Who could say that you could take the train to World Trade Center and take the path and go different parts of Jersey? Yeah, Van Cortlandt. That yeah, I'm telling you, Van Cortlandt guy got love. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, how many people could say that? Many could say, when Van Cortlandt Park at, let's go to Cognac. You gotta take my 2-3 train. I mean, what? Let me see. Mhm. You gotta take 2 trains, 3 trains. Van Cortlandt Park towards the top of the Bronx, the Coney Island. That'd be about 3 or 4 hours. How many people can say that? Or there people can say, right, you can walk over George Washington Bridge, right? Or you can walk over Brooklyn Bridge and Manhattan Bridge to Brooklyn to Manhattan. I mean, you can say that. Yeah, I mean, like, come on. I mean, like, who you could do it like this? Listen, man, we want to go to Robert Moses Park. That's in Long Island. There's a train, man. There's a train stop at Robert Moses Park, and I forgot the town in Long Island. You could take Long Island Railroad to certain stops in Manhattan and the Bronx. Yeah, I see you, a bridge walker. Yeah, that's an excellent exercise. Huh? 12 hours? Man, we could throw many scenarios out there. It's crazy. Many scenarios. I believe you could walk over. I think they fixed the Williamsburg Bridge. You could walk the Williamsburg from Brooklyn into Manhattan, lower part of Manhattan. Many ways you can go. On behalf of my child, underrated darkness, your truth, no one great. I might be back later on. I might be back a little later on. It really depends how I feel. I might do a man. I might do a underrated men's talk. It depends how I feel. The things I gotta do. But thank y'all. And thanks for the conversation, everybody. Especially 12 hours. Thank you. Shout out to Knowledge Bond. He originally from Chicago, but raised in New Orleans. So shout out to Chi Town and the Big Easy. Shout out to them. Oh, definitely shout out to New York, man. Shout out DMV. Oh, man. Shout out to Virginia. Shout out to everybody. Man. Yeah, we gonna do some New York, man. People can put some respect in New York. You gotta know things, man. People be think they know New York. They don't know New York, man. And then we ain't talk about the projects. I gotta. That's not the train stop you get off at. Yeah, if you know somebody gotta come get you. But it's wait, it's still the element's still there. You can't do that. See, for me, it does bother me because not. I'm gonna travel. Somebody said meet him at 9 o'clock. What stop you getting off? That's not the stop you get only one light. No, they wait for you to turn, go through the door and click. No. See if you know how to maneuver. Oh, you gonna wait right here? Yeah. And then you get off and take train or bus or no. I'm gonna tell you this one story, right? It was this guy, right? He was in trouble. We knew, right? Not in trouble. They trying to rob him. So, I said, I'm just letting you know right now. Yeah, I go back where you was, and it was I believe it was on a 2 train, I believe. And I said, nah, but this is not the stop to get off. So what are you gonna do? We're gonna take it to the next stop, and we're gonna cross over. And we cross over, we gonna get on the express stop. And we going back. And then what's gonna happen? We gonna pass where they want you at. And as soon as we pass the stop, they was like, I said, you see, they was them. I said, yeah, they were waiting to get you. So Monster go back and call up. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I see you trying to set me. Where are you at? Don't worry about it. He was in the city already. So thanks for brother JT. You gotta know spots like that. Gotta know spots like that. But see y'all later. Thank y'all. Have a great see. I was on the 2 train and saw a homeless smoking crack. I know played with the 2 train. Yeah. Oh, 2 train always be have things going on for years. Shoot, man. I see a home. I see a late. I see a couple was doing their thing. Was doing their thing on the 2 train. Was doing their thing. Had to dress up on the 2 train. Yup. This is on their way back to the city. Probably above ground buses. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. It's usually always stuff be happening too on the A train. Don't sleep on the C. That C line is long too. I don't know how long it is. It used to go. I heard it go to 45th Street, but I remember the C line used to go to Bedford Park Parkway. The C train go to Bronx. That C line was long, one of the longest. But I think the longest line in New York City is the on the 2 train. Downplay, no, 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 no. And you take that A train. Mm-mm. You take the A train to Lefferts Boulevard, or you can take the A train to Rockaway. Lefferts Boulevard is all right. It's all right. You guys can't sleep with Lefferts, but you take it on Rockaway. You gotta go through two bridges. Nah. Yeah, all right, nah, yeah, all right, nope. Mm-mm. And then when it gets cold out of Rockaway, woo, it get cold. You better know your way too. Oh, um you want to send you a cab? Nah, I send no cab. Like, you call your own cab. I'm telling you, I know. I'm like, you're all right. Oh man, it's like be like this. I wait, yeah. Then if they don't show up, oh where you at? Oh, such. Go bye bye. Yep. All right, talk to you later. Great afternoon, great evening. I might be back later on. It depends. Have a blessed one. Shout out to Nosborn. Peace. Get us out.